What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are continuing on with the strength block. We are in week 2, day 3, which is deadlift day. So the primary focus is going to be deadlift, and the variation that I'm choosing is conventional deadlift. The reason why I'm choosing conventional deadlift is because it works the glutes, the hamstrings, the erectors, and the lats, all right? So I could pick the heaviest weights possible and get the most bang out of my buck, and then I can move on to the other exercises. So the reason why I'm picking the conventional deadlift as my primary variation is because it's gonna hypertrophy or hypertrophize. That's not even a word, but it's gonna hypertrophy all the muscles that I need going into my strength block, all right? So I'm not doing deadlifts to be a bodybuilder. Once again, I'm doing it to specifically train and hypertrophy the muscles that I'm going to be using going into the strength block. So basically how I do periodization is I do it strategically, all right? There are periods that could be 8 to 12 weeks where I'm focusing on the muscle groups that are going to improve the lifts. After those 8 to 12 weeks, I'll go on to another 8 to 12 weeks of a strength block, okay? The strength block is to actually build strength, all right? It's not 1 rep maxes, but you're building the capacity to move bigger weights. Now we are still in the hypertrophy block, and it's still early. So we're gonna get on with these warm-up sets, and here we go. All right, so we sped through those warm-up sets, and now we're getting into the main work. We got a 4x7 to 8. Like I said, it's depending how I feel, but I am gonna shoot for 8. We got a 4x8 of 359 pounds. Let's see how this moves. Slow down on the last 2 reps, but it's all right. Said in the last video that I briefly covered it in the last video, so I kind of wanted to go over a little play-by-play. All right, so what I do when I approach the bar, I walk up to the bar and I'm lining up my feet, all right? I put my heels directly underneath my hip joints, all right? So they come straight down. I bend my knees and bring myself to the bar. Then I take the webs of my hands, I put them in the bar. I'm using the edge of my hands in the web, and then I'm putting it in, I'm bringing it down, and then I'm taking my fingers, my index and my middle finger, and I'm wrapping my index finger, and I'm wrapping my index finger around the knuckle, and I'm wrapping my middle finger around the nail, okay? After I have it wrapped, I'm lifting my rear end in the air, and I'm and I'm pushing my body back, all right? What this is gonna do is it's gonna engage your hamstrings, okay? You should then feel the bar. When you pull back, it is gonna look like your back's rounded. You should be looking like that. You know who taught me this? Probably the best, not probably, definitely the best deadlifter that ever came out of the state, Garrett Gonzalez.
Fuck yeah.
All right, he deadlifted with a rounded back. What you're doing is exactly like a fishing pole, right? The fishing pole is stiff, right? You throw that fishing pole out, the fish catches it, what happens? It pulls. You want to pull. Your spine direction isn't straight. Your spine and the way your bones are attached isn't exactly a straight line. So you can have a curvature. It was meant to do that. Look how your skull sits on it. Okay, so you are going to have a rounded back when you're setting up. When I set up, I'm pulling this way. But after, and my body is behind the bar. You want to have your body behind the bar, not in front of it. If you put your body in front of the bar when you set up, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage and it's going to be harder to pull. When you grab the bar, you put your feet back and my body is behind the bar. Now all that leverage is behind me. It does look like my back's rounded, but it's not going to affect the lift. It will when you see people who do it with improper form. But you grab the bar, by the webs of your thumb, you put it in, lock it in, index and ring finger around the knuckle and the nail. Bring the body back, lean back, engage your hamstrings, and then when you're ready to go, it's almost like you're scooping it up. You're gonna push your knees forward and leg press. Now when you push your legs forward and leg press, your back straightens itself out, so it's no longer a rounded back. And then also, if you are actually lifting heavy weights, all right? If you're lifting over 90% of your 1 rep max, no matter what you do, your form's gonna break down. You could be the best powerlifter in the world, but the second you pass 90% of your 1 rep max, form is going to break down no matter how you want to. Otherwise, you didn't go to 90% of your 1 rep max. All right, so yes, it's not gonna be an immaculate deadlift when you start using heavier weights, but that's why you should be practicing immaculate form with the lighter weights. Now let's get into this set 3. Grab and wrap. Knees are bent, push them back, body behind the bar, and then I'm gonna scoop and leg press, and then I'm gonna launch this weight right up. Ready? Scoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I even forgot to put my belt on, and guess what? My back don't hurt. I didn't even feel it there. I just felt it in the hooks. All right, so after those quick 4 sets of 8 with 359 pounds on conventional deadlift, those moved pretty easy. Now we're gonna go into our second deadlift movement, and this is just to help a primary deadlift movement. And so for the second deadlift movement I'm going to be doing is going to be a slight deficit snatch grip deadlift. Continuing off from last week, I'm doing 285 pounds, and we're gonna do a 4x4. So I'm first gonna hit the warm-up sets. I don't think y'all need to see those, but we're gonna hit the warm-up sets and then working sets, and I'm gonna show you how those are done as well. All right, let's get it. right, so that first set of snatch grip deadlift moved pretty easy. Seems like I'm fully recovered and ready to go today, which is good. Today's a good training session. It's not always that the weights are gonna move the way you want them to, but when they are, you gotta enjoy those days. Today's a decent day. It's not like I'm hitting PRs, but I'm having fun. So we're gonna continue. I got 3 more sets. I'm gonna skip filming the next 2, and then I'm gonna film the third one to see how the third one looked from the first. So that concludes my 4th set of 285 for the snatch grip deadlifts. All right. So that's what we did for dead, some volume work. You already know that I'm gonna hit those accessories, but that's it. That's all I got for today. Hope you've learned something informative. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a nice day.